Hello and welcome to this emergency podcast. I didn't think we'd be doing one of these today. A wee bit of a shock last night, hearing the news that Martin O'Neill is the interim boss at Celtic. Brendan Rodgers resigned. Um, a bit of a crazy 24 hours. I'm still trying to process it all and come to terms with it all. I know, obviously, Murray, you're obviously from the other side of the divide. You
Mm.
experienced it just a few weeks ago,
Aye.
with Danny Rowe coming in and all the rest of that that happened there. So what do you make of all this then, mate?
Well, if it was just the Brendan Rodgers resigning in the first statement, I'm not sure there's a need for an emergency pod. But Dermott Desmond's second statement just blew everything up
Yeah,
because I
certainly
think there
did.
was a lot of Celtic fans that were kind of thinking they need a change. It needs to be refresh. So the fact that Rodgers will continue to play the party line, resigned, and the first statement thanking him for his efforts, that was fine. And then it just went absolutely mental.
Yeah.
Um,
The statement at
I
the
was just,
first, as you say, the first few lines were all right, kind of congratulating on what he did and all that, and then it was pure, like a pure, like, onslaught.
yeah, I couldn't quite. Dermot Desmond's statement. I mean, let's be honest, as you know, I'm a Rangers fan, so I know my fair share of bad football statements, right?
Hmm.
This might be the worst statement I've ever heard from anyone in terms of
It was crazy.
absolutely character assassination.
Certainly.
Um, they just blame Brendan Rodgers for every single thing that's went wrong this season, and that's clearly not the case. I mean, even someone who's not as close to it, I said, well, I can see that this is a bit of both. Don't get me wrong, Brendan tactically, there's been errors from his side,
Hmm.
but a lot of the other stuff, I mean, you cannot just say that. I mean, basically, they just called him a liar. They called him
Yeah.
everything you could call him,
Hmm.
and I get that Martin O'Neill, great guy, and he'll do a great job for 3 or 4 games, however long it is. But see, if I was a real serious manager, I'd have real doubts about coming to work for Dermott Desmond
Me
based on
too.
that statement.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure there's some big names that are going to be linked. I know Kieran McKenna is the first one, Postecoglou, the other kind of names out there. But
I've heard the boy well, it's not Borussia Dortmund now, but the boy that was at Borussia Dortmund, he's been linked to it as well. I can't remember his name, but
the Terzic,
that's it. Yep.
yeah, he was linked to us, but apparently he turned us down in the summer.
Mm. Can
So
you see him coming to Celtic then if he turned down a job in Scotland already?
yeah, I mean, you never know. It might have just been timing. You don't know.
Who
Um,
knows?
but there's a lot of names. Marco Rose has been bandied about. There's lots, and we'll get to that. But
Knutson
I
as well.
just it's never going to happen. Honestly, the amount I just think that guy's he gets mentioned more in Scotland than he does in any other country. I think
Yeah.
because Rangers obviously have an annual sacking, and and Celtic are obviously now deciding to join the party of an October sacking.
Hmm.
Um, but honestly, I mean, I could not believe it when I read that statement. Like, at first, I thought it was maybe like a wind up and
To check it to see if it was from an
not a
official
real
source.
Celtic statement, and
Yeah.
maybe it's like with AI and a lot of the things out there. Some fan could have created it and put a name to it, but good God, I mean that was. Do you know what? I don't like to use the word, but I thought it was embarrassing to really do that to a guy who won 11 out of 13 trophies.
Hmm.
Don't get me wrong. I think the team's been poor this year.
Oh, they have been.
I can say that and say that like it might be time for a change, but to show him such disrespect
Exactly.
and
After what he's done,
And I feel bad
he's
for
done for the
Martin
club.
O'Neill because Martin O'Neill's took this job obviously late afternoon, early evening
Early evening.
yesterday, and then that shit happens. He's probably just
Hmm.
like Jesus.
I know.
I mean, he's 73, he's seen it all, but even he must
Yeah.
be like, what the hell?
Even even yesterday, he was on Jim White's show on Talksport yesterday, and
Yeah, I seen that.
he actually said that he thought that Hearts would win the league, and now
Well,
he's
and he
come in,
also
now
said,
he's come in to manage Celtic.
and he also writ Rangers team instructions for the weekend because he said that Rangers are nowhere near it and will be nowhere near it. So
Who said that?
that's
Martin
a,
O'Neill. Oh well.
aye. So I should get the Rangers. I mean,
Was this
at the
prior
end of
to
the day,
getting? This is prior to getting the job. Is that right?
aye, he said it yesterday morning. It was the
Right.
same. thing he was talking about. But at the end of the day, like, see if you look at the league table, Rangers are nowhere near it. That is honest.
Yeah.
Eh, but
But
he
it's
didn't
one of
know
them
he was going
statements
to
that you
get
would stick up
flung
on the
in there.
dressing room wall, you know?
Aye, but I just think the whole thing was a shambles, and
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never seen, like, at the end of the day, there was no need for that second statement. The first statement was absolutely fine.
hmm
He's left. We've
But
replaced him.
in terms of him leaving, no, I'm still in a bit of a state of shock.
See, I'm not. I thought this was coming.
I didn't think I thought it would have happened
I
maybe at the
didn't think
international
that.
break though, if I'm being
Yeah,
honest.
no, but it looks like, well, what they're looking at is to think, oh, we can get Martin. Can they must have felt right that those 4 games, Falkirk, Rangers, Mitchell, and Kilmarnock, they must feel that Brendan Rodgers wasn't going to get the results that they wanted for those games, as in maybe more drop points in the league, maybe out the cup, and maybe a loss in Europa League that
Mm-hmm.
could affect their chances of finishing in the playoffs
Yeah.
or higher, you know. But I just think maybe they look at Martin O'Neill and think, well, this guy can maybe get a tune out of them for 4 games while we replace, because
If it is four
they've
games,
lost. They
we'll
have.
see how it goes.
It seems like it will be, but they've lost. Well, Martin O'Neill was saying in his presser there that if he loses tomorrow, they might be speaking to somebody else on Thursday. So
I exactly heard
he
that. Yep.
he's taking it. He's taking it game by game, which he should.
hmm
But it's
I mean,
weird
I
to
heard.
think, though, innit? We're
Yeah,
going to be going into an Old Firm game with a 36-year-old Danny Rule and a
73-year-old
73-year-old
Martin O'Neill.
Martin O'Neill.
But as I said, I listened to, I
So,
watched a few Celtic pods last night after the news broke, and one thing that I heard one of the guys saying that he actually thought was the only positive to take out of it. It looked as if they've got a plan in terms of they've had this strategic plan. They've got rid of Rodgers and they've brought in Neil and Maloney, and it seems to look as if they've got some sort of plan. Whether
do
that
you believe that, though? Do you look at that as a plan? Calling an old man who hasn't
no
managed for 6 years as a
no
plan?
no,
Like,
but maybe
a
they've got an
plan
idea
to
of who they
me,
want to be their manager to be in the background. I don't know.
yeah, I get that, but then, that's a plan is right. See, if you sack Brendan Rodgers and you replace him with a full-time manager the next day,
Mhm.
that's a plan.
Yeah, I suppose.
Calling an old man, this is no different from Rangers calling the Four Bears and all of that shite
hmm
that Rangers got
But
criticised for last year.
what's really got me as well and stumped me is the fact that John Kennedy's gone as well. You know, he's been
Yeah,
here
I mean,
with every
and
single other manager we've had.
no statement about it.
I
Nothing
know.
has come out. Like, I mean, that guy was there for 27 years
hmm
as a
He's gone.
player, coach.
hmm
And by the way, that just shows you that he's backing Brendan Rodgers' side of things.
What I
And
will
quite
say to that though,
frankly,
Murray, is the
yeah.
fact.
I
What I
think
will
he's
sorry.
needed a refresh anyway.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
I
what I was
think
going to
that
say.
needed to happen,
Yep,
but
that needed to
not.
happen.
He didn't deserve to be ushered out the back door.
No, but
I mean,
I was
that guy
looking for a
deserved a.
change in terms of a new assistant to a new manager as well. Yep, definitely.
Yeah, but I think the guy deserved at least a statement.
Oh, definitely. hmm
I mean, I do. I mean, it might have been, maybe it wasn't that clear at the time when the first statement came out. I can understand that, so maybe they didn't mention him. But they could have put a statement out today
hmm
saying, "Oh, since then, John Kennedy's also decided to leave. Blah blah blah. We thank him for his efforts." None of
Somebody
that.
else has left. Somebody else has left that joined with Brendan Rodgers as
There
well.
was a few other ones, and
Yeah,
Mark
like
Fotheringham's back in as well.
I saw that
So
today on the presser.
I
Yeah,
mean,
Mark Fotheringham is
he
back.
was
Fozzie, as
he
they
did
call him.
some. Yeah, well, I can't do that because the Muppets, right? But but I mean, well, hey, the Muppets. That's what we're going to call you.
Oh, aye.
But
It's looking
no, I
like the
think.
Muppet Show at the minute.
Well, but what I would say though is that he did some good coaching stuff down at Swansea, and I know he spent a bit of time under Felix Magath over in Germany. So
hmm
good coach,
Yeah,
and he might bring a bit of freshness because it is needed at Celtic.
that
It's
is
needed,
certainly is.
and I know a lot of Celtic fans, right, that felt that they could drop points tomorrow and they could lose to Rangers and they could
hmm
lose in Midtjylland and might not beat Kilmarnock. But I think that those same fans will maybe go into these games with a bit more,
Optimism.
maybe not optimism, but just a bit more belief that Martin O'Neill can maybe get a bit more out of them than Rodgers will. Because I think, I don't want to say he'd lost the dressing room, but it didn't look a happy place.
No, it didn't. And every time you
And
saw him,
comments about,
his face was stripping him.
the the car
The car.
comments last week. That's not great. It's not. If
No.
you're a player playing for Celtic and you're working your hardest, and it might not be really going for you, I don't think you really want to say that. I'd rather
Mm-hmm.
have a Ferrari than a shitty.
Than a Honda Civic, was it? Yeah.
Uh,
And then I've heard a Morris Minor getting mentioned as well at one point.
so I can I think maybe Martin and you'll lift spirits a bit, and
Hopefully.
obviously Shaun Maloney's there too, who again was a manager in his own right down at Wigan.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously at Hibs as well. I forget about that
Didn't
ill-fated
work out
Hibs
at
spell.
Hibs. To be fair, they
He
didn't
didn't
give
get
him
a
a,
lot of
a fair
time.
crack at the
No,
whip at Hibs. He deserved more time, but he didn't get it.
no. I mean,
But
but sometimes, as I know this year, sometimes right on it's not working because a lot of people from the outside looking in would say Russell Martin didn't get time, but sometimes you just know
even in
that.
the even in the post match interviews, even the press conferences, his face looked to be tripping him. Even when he was answering the questions,
Yeah, but
he
at
didn't
the
look
end of the
happy.
day, though, they weren't playing well. They weren't. Maybe the players weren't doing what he was wanting. Maybe
They
he
lost the
felt that
dressing
there
room.
was a few players there, like Maeda, Hitati, who didn't want to be there, but he felt there was no better options and he had to keep playing them. Then I can understand it. I mean,
Yeah.
it happens. Um,
Hmm.
but I still can't really wrap my head around the Desmond statement. But I
No,
just
it's
think
crazy.
it's
It's
proper embarrassing.
as
And
you say, it's an absolute character assassination. It's mental.
I mean, if I was Brendan Rodgers, my first phone call to do would be to some sort of lawyer because
Well, this is the thing. There was
I would
somebody
not
said
be
that in a
having
pod last
anyone do
night.
that.
Somebody said that in a pod last night that he could sue Celtic for that, possibly.
Of course you could. I mean, at the end of the day, and I mean, if you're completely right, I mean, there's flinging somebody under a bus, and then there's what
Like
flinging
basically running
somebody
over the
under a.
top of them back and forward a million
It
times.
was
Exactly.
terrible. I mean,
Hmm.
it just seemed like the statement was never going to end. It just every time there was just another paragraph where here's
Was
a
that
wee
an AI
jab, here's a
statement?
wee jab, and it was like, God,
You
it
think
could have
you
been.
think that was
But
AI?
if it is, then AI's got a lot to answer for because they're right cruel bastards.
Aye.
But no, honestly, I thought it was just terrible. But I do think that, I mean, as a Rangers fan, I don't know how to think about it because if I'm honest, I was quite optimistic about Sunday, and not that I think Martin O'Neill's a better manager than Brendan Rodgers because I
I
don't.
don't think I don't
But
think anything changes it, but then it might galvanise Celtic.
but
It
it
may
might.
lift them.
I just think there was one thing I noticed from a few last few Celtic games, especially against Dundee and obviously Hearts, that when they were behind, they didn't look like getting back into it.
Hmm.
Not obviously Sunday, I know they equalised, but you know what I mean. When they went two behind, they never looked like getting back into it, and that gives you a bit of confidence as a
Yeah.
player. Like if you're playing against that team, you go, well, if we can get ahead, then
Hmm.
their heads may drop. But whereas a new manager comes in and they might be able to change that,
I
and they
hope
might
so.
be able to give them a bit of fight. I mean, I hope not. I hope it's an absolute bomb scare and they
Obviously, you do.
lose every game. But no, you can beat Midtjylland. I'll give you that one. But because that
Mm.
holds no bearing over me. But the other ones, I think Falkirk, it'll be a tough game still tomorrow. I stand
It
by
will
that. I
be
don't think it'll be. And I mean, you're going to the game. I mean, what kind of atmosphere are you expecting? I mean, I think it's going to be a bit like a
going to
homecoming
be.
for O'Neill. So quite
It'll be
happy,
weird. Yeah,
but there's going to be banners. There has to be
I think
banners.
so. Yeah, you're going to get the homecoming welcome for Martin O'Neill. You got all the old songs back again, Martin O'Neill, all that kind of stuff, and then you
Mhm.
will still get the onslaught from the supporters to the board for what they've done. Obviously,
I mean,
um,
do you think that I'm
that
trying
was
to put
part of
my
that was part of Dermott Desmond's statement yesterday as well about members of the board and members of the hierarchy getting abuse. They did say that in
he
the statement.
said that was all Brendan's fault. Brendan had created a narrative. Just
No,
bollocks. I mean,
no, no. It's
what?
from what it's from the summer window and the lack of recruitment or quality of recruitment. That's all I say.
Yeah, do you know the way I read it was just like, right, okay, this guy's gone. We're going to blame everything on him, and the fans are going to believe us. But you're reading it going,
The
there's
way I'm
no
looking
way
at it
that
is, I
anyone's
mean,
going to be idiotic enough to believe that.
he's completely berated him, right? And he's the statement. But what they've done is they've brought in Martin O'Neill as a kind of softener for the supporters. So the supporters will go, like, all right, well, they've brought in Martin O'Neill, so everything's all right. You know what I mean? That's
Mm.
basically a blow softener. The fact they've brought Martin O'Neill in. That's the way I'm looking at it.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen something similar with Rangers last year, not in the same level because obviously, Ferguson, McGregor, they weren't really experienced managers, whereas Martin O'Neill is. But it felt more like a let's appease the fans and get the fans to sign up to season tickets and things like that, because it was at a
Yeah.
time like that where all of that sort of stuff was going on. And with this, I feel it's just one of those things that is a bit of an appeasing the fans to get them to turn up, because they probably know that they need the fans over these next 4 games,
I mean, it's
whereas
nice to
that statement could make fans not want to go.
it's nice to have Martin O'Neill back, obviously for sentimental reasons and all the rest of it. But what I'm worried about, and no disrespect to Martin, is that was 25 years ago, and the game has changed so much since he was Celtic
You,
manager.
you can't kick anyone up the arse anymore.
No, even that. I mean,
You can't really shout at them.
the last time he managed anybody was 2019. So the game's
6
even
years.
changed since then. So that's my
It's
worry.
6 years since he was at Forest, and then
Yeah,
before that it was Ireland. And
Ireland.
he did a reasonably good job at Ireland, actually. But Ireland's where he should be, that type of job,
That
international
kind of
manager,
international
part
game.
time.
Yeah.
Aye. I mean, he's 73. I mean, but it does seem like Shaun Maloney's going to do the majority of this, and Martin O'Neill's just going to be the figurehead and
The shoulder to cry
the
on sort of thing. Yeah.
the face, I suppose. But I mean, the whole thing, I just think there's a way to handle things. And I mean, even look at Russell Martin, right? He was terrible, right? There was nothing good about him. But Rangers handled that with dignity in terms of his exit. They said, look, we got it wrong.
It's not
It's not
working.
working. We thank him for his effort. He worked tirelessly every day. This isn't on Russell. This is on us. And I like that. There was no character assassination.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus, if the fans had written it, that would have been a character
Oh, they've been totally
assassination.
different.
But and I just think there's a way to, and let's be honest, Russell Martin didn't even deserve that. He didn't deserve a nice goodbye. Whereas Brendan Rodgers has won 11 out of 13 trophies. He lost one on penalties, and the other one he lost. I'm trying to think the other one he's lost. I think he's got beat early in the cup.
Kilmarnock put us out in the first
and Rangers
the
went
first
on to
hurdle.
win the. Rangers went on to beat Aberdeen. That was that.
So outside of
one.
that, he won every single trophy.
So they lost on a plastic pitch and lost in penalties, right? And don't get me wrong, I know they won cup finals on penalties, and that swings and roundabouts. Do you know what I mean?
Penalty kicks are a lottery though.
Yeah. So I mean, you could have lost both, you could have won both. You never know. But what I would say though is he deserved to leave with dignity, and I don't think.
Well, that's the last time he left. He didn't leave any dignity either. So that's twice now.
But that was his fault last time.
Yeah, it's not his fault this time. I can see the Celtic fans actually having more sympathy for the manager this time.
I mean, this is a manager that deserves I'm not saying deserves a stand named after him, nothing like that, but like a suite or at Celtic. Do you know what I mean? Like,
because he's probably the best manager
to be
in terms of the haulage that he's got in terms of trophies and that, next to Jock Stein. He's the next best manager, and even Martin, he was up there, but he's obviously
to do it twice though as well.
Yeah,
with different sets of players.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I just think I can't believe that. I mean, I couldn't believe it when Celtic allowed that statement out a couple of months ago, where they basically just annihilated their fans, right?
The statement.
but to then follow up with this statement and put a name under it, how arrogant do you need to be to back that up?
Well, apparently there was something put to the stock exchange today, and the signature that was on it was Chris Mackay's, that it should be the CEO's signature, you would imagine, but it was Chris Mackay's.
Yeah, but it definitely
who's not the CEO, obviously.
But Desmond obviously signed off on that statement. But honestly, though, I mean, I could keep reading it and just going, Jesus, there's probably digs that I've missed.
Reading it and trying to digest it. It was mental.
I mean, I can get all he needed to do, right, was say there was a difference of opinion over the summer between where we've seen Celtic going. We thank Brendan for all his efforts. It hasn't run smoothly this season. We seem to be going in different directions, but thanks for everything. We're going to move on.
That was it.
That's
That would have
all you
been
have to do.
a lot better and a
At
lot
least
easier.
then it kind of explains that, it's a wee bit their fault. It's a wee bit his fault. And you could have even added in that results haven't been good enough. But not even such results, because results haven't been that bad. Performances haven't been good enough. I mean, because in a lot of ways, based on performances, Celtic don't really deserve to just be 8 points behind or be 5 ahead of Rangers. Because
No,
I don't think performance-wise they've not been any better. So Brendan
games
Rodgers has managed to.
we've scraped a few games as well.
But
We've scraped by in a
that's
few
because
games.
of good management. They've found a
Yeah.
way to win games. At Aberdeen 2-0, the Kelly game
The
2-1.
St Mirren game,
The
Luke McCowan.
St Mirren 1-0, 3-2 against Motherwell. If
Mhm.
that was under a manager who maybe isn't as good, Celtic could be way out of it based on
Yeah, I know.
performances. Because I'll be honest, based on performances, I don't think they've been any better than Rangers, and that's saying something because we've been dreadful.
No. Oh well.
but I suppose it definitely. There's never a dull moment in Scottish football, is there?
No, but
I
this is
mean,
turning out to be one crazy season. I mean,
do you
when
know
can you
this
remember a season where the two big
never
managers of
happened?
the two big clubs is that's happened? It's never happened.
Never
Never
happened.
happened.
I heard that today. We've
Mm.
never sacked a manager in the same season.
No,
I
no. The two
believe we've
managers have
both
never
got rid
gone.
of.
Yeah,
I believe we've both changed management in the same summer
yeah. But
once,
never mid-season or no even
never
mid-season. I haven't
during
even
the
called this.
season.
This isn't even. you-
9 games in.
You're lucky if it's are we even a third way of the way through the season
No,
yet? I mean, no.
there's still 29 league games to go. We're only
Exactly,
9 in.
exactly. It's crazy.
But then it also means it is salvageable.
Let's
I
hope so.
mean, and whether that means a title win, but it's salvageable as in you're still in 4 competitions.
Hmm.
You're still, if you
Hopefully
go
that
on a run
hopefully
of
a new
five,
manager comes
six,
in with
seven
fresh
wins,
ideas and we can get maybe a better style of football to play it. A more,
yeah, I
shall I
mean,
say it, a more Celtic way to play football. Because let's face it, that the way we were playing wasn't it the Celtic
but
way. The way,
there's been a common theme with Brendan Rodgers though, because he seems to have a bit of a third season dip.
hmm It's happened
Because
the last time as well.
if you remember the last time when he left in the February, I know
We were 8 points clear at that point as well,
you
though.
were, but that was more down to Rangers losing 2 games in a week. I think. Do you remember
Yep,
we came back from the winter break? I think it was, and Rangers lost at Kilmarnock, and we lost another one, and you went.
yeah,
So it never really felt like it was that Celtic pulled away. It was that
hmm
Rangers just they didn't have the experience to stay with Celtic at that point. But
yeah.
Celtic's football was bland and dire for months, and then it
hmm
was probably only the boost of Lennon coming in and
That's seen us over the line.
maybe galvanised. They got us over the line because Rangers actually did pick it up
They
towards
did.
the end of the season, and actually, if they hadn't had that.
They kind of closed the gap a bit. Yeah.
Because I think it only finished about 4 or 5 points, but I think that season, if we hadn't had that terrible January, where I'm pretty sure, I'm fairly sure we lost at Pittodrie and Rugby Park. That's kind of what I remember. I can't remember the exact ones, but it was just one of those ones that you just go, good teams. Look at Man United. That's where Man United come alive in it. December, January, February. That in the olden days, that was where they were. You just always went, that's where you
And you
win
don't,
titles. But
you don't,
I just don't even. And that's why we know that Hearts, they're not home and hosed or anything like that. There's not eight
no,
games to go or
no,
something.
there's
There's
plenty
8
of
games
games
gone.
left. And
8 or 9 games done.
they will hit a sticky patch at some point, Hearts. They
Of
will.
course they
They
will.
will.
Of course they will. I mean, no one's
Um,
doubting that, but I just think they must just be loving the shit show
oh, they
that's
will do.
surrounding the
They will
Glasgow.
do.
By the way, they'll be as worried about Hibs as they will Rangers Celtic right now, because
Mm,
we just seem to be nailing our own coffins. And
it's
do you know
crazy.
Hibs? Actually, I read something after the pod last night. Hibs's XG is the highest in the league,
Is it?
and the points that they should have had from the games is they've underachieved and Hearts have overachieved. If
So
you know what I mean,
they should actually be higher than
they should
for what
be
their XG
right up there.
suggests.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and obviously I know we've got to play them tomorrow, but it does
hmm
show you that Hibs aren't far out of this, and Dundee United are right up there.
hmm
Fuck it, Falkirk are the
Yeah,
same
I
points
know
as us.
exactly.
I mean,
And
Falkirk can close within 2 points to use.
not to keep harping back to the statement, but I mean, he was calling him a liar as well.
That was terrible. Though. You can't. I mean, yeah, you can maybe say that about the contract stuff, that to me is irrelevant because
Well, they said that they offered him a contract, and Brendan's obviously come out and said they never offered him one. So who do you
but you can
believe?
verbally offer and then you can get it in writing. And maybe
Hmm.
what Brendan meant is I've not had anything concrete. You might have somebody say, "We'll give you an extension," but see
Yeah,
until you see it in writing. So maybe that one you could say maybe they've not called him a liar. Maybe that's just a bit, but they literally called him a liar about all the transfer stuff.
that's right.
That was literal. That was like Brendan signed off on every single thing. He had the
Just
final say.
nonsense.
When Inamura signed, he said he didn't know who he was.
Hmm.
So why would he have signed
He
off
was
on
he
a
was
signing
actually
of a
he'd
left
written
back
he'd written him
who
off
he
basically as
didn't
soon as he
know who he
signed.
was?
Hmm.
And he also said that Yamada was a club signing as part of a club vision, not
Yeah,
a Brendan Rodgers signing as part of Brendan Rodgers' vision. And there was a wee sneaky line in about Brendan. I think they said something like Brendan handpicked some of his other signings, and that was clearly aimed at the whole trustee Ida Engels thing,
yeah.
where a lot of people have seen that as 26 million of failure,
Hmm.
and that was another one. But it was honestly just,
I know. Yeah,
I
and
thought, we were a shit show.
I seen on YouTube earlier on as well when I was flicking through that some Rangers fan had posted. I know, obviously, I don't mean to have a go because you're a Rangers man, but some Rangers fan had posted a video. I didn't watch it, but it was along the lines of, "Oh, Danny Rose seen off Brendan Rodgers," and you're like, I know it's meant maybe as a laugh, but you're like thinking to yourself,
It
"Are
could
you
be
serious
that's
about
pretty
posting that?
brutal.
I mean, come on, he never even played him."
I, I'd say that's maybe just a tongue in cheek that
Ah, will be, but
Rangers win a football match and the Celtic manager goes, ah, that's it.
I know you're like, "Oh, the Rangers have won, so I better pack my bags and go," you know.
But do you know what would have been funny? See if we'd known it now. We probably should have just sacked Russell Martin and Rodgers after that 0-0 and said, because it was the worst old firm ever, you both you just go.
I mean, obviously, what happened last night, it would have been ideal if it had happened earlier in the day yesterday, because your podcast yesterday would have been totally different
I
to
know.
what it ended
But
up being.
we can always do these things
Hmm.
if Celtic decide
I
to
mean, I knew you would
eviscerate.
jump on last night and do an emergency one like the rest of the ones we're doing. I thought I'll sleep on it and see if he wants to do one
Aye.
tomorrow.
But also I'm glad though because we might have missed even more.
Hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Because it
Aye.
just seemed to get worse and worse. Because obviously I seen the first statement last night,
Yeah.
and then I went, well, I didn't
'Cause I
see
think
the
the first
Dermott
one
one
was
until
was it quarter to
nine
10? I think
forty two. Aye.
aye, quarter to 10, and then
So I
15
seen
minutes
Sky
later the
Sports.
Dermott
No,
Desmond one came out.
I didn't see the Desmond one because I turned off Sky Sports News and I went to go
I was watching
listen to a
the
couple other things.
Celtic pods, but the
Aye.
Celtic pods
And
obviously
then
had it on.
I woke up this morning and went, like Chris Sutton was on Sky Sports News talking away, and I was like, the hell's he talking about Dermot Desmond? And then they went through all the bits, and I was like, Jesus Christ, that is brutal.
Aye.
And then I actually ended up seeing it like word for word and went, oh my God. And it was like one of those things that you just go, oh, it's
Is
getting
this for
worse.
real?
It's getting worse. It's always getting even worse.
But you're like, is this for real? I mean,
I
shocking.
mean, the only thing it was missing was a picture of Brendan with some darts in his head or something. Do you know what I mean? It was just, brutal. But yeah, I mean, what can you say?
Oh,
It's fun in Scottish football, isn't it?
yeah.
I mean, who'd have thought this season when we started this that both our managers would be gone by Halloween?
I would have had no idea. Would have
Scary
had
thought.
no idea of that. No, exactly.
But
Yeah.
oh well, at least there's actual football to keep us entertained tomorrow. And I mean, as I said, Danny Rule against Martin O'Neill on Sunday. I mean, that's if you'd went to the bookies and said that would happen, they'd have just laughed you back out.
If he'd have said that about a week or two ago, definitely.
But I mean, who do you want long term? Are you more about? I mean, do you want Ange back, or would you like to see a real freshness of like a
I
Kieran
mean,
McKenna or
I wouldn't mind if Ange came back, but in all
a
honesty,
Marco Rose?
I'm looking for a Marco Rose type or a Knutson or somebody, maybe a Solskjaer or whatever, or
Would you
even I've
think
heard
of
Van Nistelrooy mentioned as well.
yeah, yeah, I always liked the idea of Van Nistelrooy because I think he's got a good winning mentality and he did quite well at PSV. But there's a few names. I mean, Robbie Keane is one that I've seen. I know he's at Ferencvaros and done
Nah,
quite well, don't he? Because
I know,
was he not in Israel
but
and he done all right. And
I don't fancy that one. No, no,
what
I don't
about
know,
Damien
but
Duff? That's one that's sort of because he seems to be highly thought of as a coach.
I know, but yet again, it's
Just
another
don't know if
Irishman.
well,
Not that I'm not getting against Irishmen. Obviously, I love Ireland, and there's a lot of Irish family and all the rest of it. I love the fact that
well, Lee
Celtic are.
Carsley, he's kind of Irish.
Oh, I've heard his name being mentioned as well. But what's he done?
Yeah, he did really well with England under 21s, and obviously stepped in for England, and well, he didn't embarrass himself, but
Gareth Southgate's name's in there as well. I heard.
then what had Steven Gerrard done? What had
And
Neil
then
Lennon done when he got it first time? What had Danny Rule really done to get the job?
I've
Sometimes
heard a few
you just
jokes.
go.
I've heard a few jokes with people saying, "No, but Stephen Gerrard's in for it, and so is Russell Martin." And I'm like, no,
Well,
no.
one I did hear was Muscat, but I
I
just
heard
think
that as
that
well.
must be a bit of a joke. But
That has to be a joke. But can you
oh,
imagine?
Gerrard's definitely a joke. Gerrard wouldn't touch it. I
No,
mean,
I know.
that's mad. But I mean, I hope Russell Martin gets it. I hope and pray.
No, no chance. No chance. No
Right,
chance.
right.
He's even
It's
he's
it's
even
o-
considered.
it's only fair that you'd have to endure that because
No.
we didn't enjoy it. But do you know one that I think would be a good shout is David Gray. Just
Well,
spoke about Hibs
uh,
and how
well,
you
I've
know
heard two Scottish managers, well, two current Scottish team managers.
Steve Clark.
No,
No,
no, no, no. It was Stephen Robinson and
yeah, good manager.
the John McGlynn at Falkirk. That was another name I
Oh, I
mentioned.
heard John McGlynn because he
I
used to
heard
work at
mentioned.
Hughes, didn't he?
That's
Do you
right.
know he used to work at Celtic and
Hmm.
obviously it didn't really work out at Hearts when he was
I think
manager,
he was
but
a scout when
obviously,
he was at Celtic.
yeah.
Scout.
Well, if he beats you tomorrow, maybe it's his audition.
Well, hopefully not.
And David Gray's audition might be tomorrow if he beats Rangers.
Can't afford to fall any more points behind. We're already eight, so can't be anywhere than that.
You just need to hope that the Hearts do start to falter. But
Fingers crossed.
honestly, with this season, you wouldn't be surprised with other twists and turns. What about
Hmm.
Derek McInnes? I know it sounds mad, right? Because he used to play for Rangers, right? But clearly we didn't
He
want him
just took the Hearts
for
job
some
though.
reason.
There's no, he wouldn't leave Hearts to go to Celtic. No chance.
You
Can he
never
see it?
know.
You
No,
never
I,
know,
I
but
couldn't
can
say
he see
either,
it?
but I'm just saying if you're looking at managers in Scotland who are doing well,
Mhm. Right. Can we
and
bring
you
Tony
change.
Bloom? Is that a package?
Nah,
No,
I doubt that. But
no.
do you know what I mean? Eric Ten Hag's one that I heard today,
I heard that as
but
well. Yeah,
I mean, you're going to hear all the names, aren't you?
I
Because
know.
it's the same as the Rangers merry-go-round over the last month or so. I had everyone, but
Yeah, yeah.
I know we actually met with Solskjaer, so obviously
Mm.
he'd be up for managing, and
You'd imagine well, if
going
he's applied for the Rangers job, he'll apply for the Celtic job as well. You'd imagine.
he's going to take that as like a Hartson thing, where well, not so much. Well, we turned him down, and then you take him, and he does really well.
I heard Bellamy's name mentioned as well, Big Bellamy, but
The
that's not going to
problem with
be.
that one is that he's going to need to see the November games out
Hmm.
for Wales
Aye,
because obviously they're still in with a chance of getting the playoffs,
right.
and also because I do think he's too young for international management.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that's a job he should be having in 20 years,
Mhm.
but he would certainly bring eyes in Scottish football because he's a fiery character. He's got a bit of Gerrard like that. He's got a lot of the tools, even if he
Mhm.
doesn't have the experience. But he seems to with Wales, he's surrounding himself with good coaches. Um, I don't know. I mean, do you think the Fotheringham one? Do you think that's a coach that they're bringing in to stay? Because
I
I
don't
don't
know.
think they would just be hiring him for 4 games.
Possibly. Who knows? Well, we
Because
just
it
need to
seems
wait and
like
see with that one.
Maloney's staying beyond this anyway.
Well, he will be. He's the youth guy, isn't he? He's the
Aye.
pathway manager. So
So I
yeah,
do wonder if maybe they're looking at Fotheringham as being,
an
a
assistant
bit of like
maybe.
a Kennedy type, like
Hmm.
somebody to be a constant.
Yeah.
So it looks like right as on Rangers though, because I know Rangers are pretty close to bringing their Scottishy coach in, and I think it looks like it's going to be Steve Davis or Neil McCann.
Right.
I'd want Davis because I seen McCann last year with Ferguson, and I just think that Davis is the assistant manager, Mike O'Neill at Northern Ireland, so he's got experience of that. So to me, and let's be honest, Steve Davis just carries himself with real professionalism, and I'm not saying Neil McCann doesn't, but I just
Yeah.
think Steve Davis is someone that I could see being a Rangers manager
Mm.
one day. I
Well,
know he
we'll see
got
what.
that wee interim shot where he had a couple of games, but that didn't really count. Do you know what I mean?
Hmm.
But he seems like the sort of guy that handles himself. And even Celtic fans will say he's a classy guy. Like you've never heard him do anything
No.
bad or say anything. Even when he's in punditry, a bit like Petrov, that type
Aye.
of just a good demeanour.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope it's Davis, but it'll be interesting to see what Celtic do. But the big
Yep.
name that won't go away is Kieran McKenna, seems to be the one that I'm hearing
Right.
that Celtic are very interested in. And by the way,
Okay.
Man United wanted him before Amarin.
Right. Okay.
So Man United are
Is he is
wanting
he
this.
is he out of a job at the minute?
No, he's at Ipswich, but
Right.
they're kind of, I don't want to say they're struggling, but they're mid-table.
Kieran
Um,
McKenna.
yep, and but obviously he brought them up. He won. Well, he didn't actually win any trophies. Weirdly, he finished second in League One, got them promoted. Finished second in the Championship, got them up to the Premiership. Obviously, they get relegated because the gap was too big.
Hmm.
But I think they're floating about 12th maybe in the Championship. So,
We just need to
which
watch
by
this
the way, in
space
that
and
league where you play every 5 minutes, do you know what I mean?
Mhm. Aye.
You can be 12th one week and
I
sixth the
know.
next week. But
But we'll watch this
I don't
space
know.
and we'll see what happens, eh?
He seems like he's an Irish boy, decent. I mean, he's obviously got a name that's suited for Celtic, I would say. He fit right in.
Yeah.
But
We'll see.
we'll see. But I'm just sad you didn't wait till the summer and then bring Steve Clark in, because
Oh
that would have made me very happy.
no, Steve Clark was never
And
a
what
non-starter.
what about getting Big Sutton in? He's got an opinion on everything.
Mm. No, Sutton's not really got the football
No, I'm only joking.
coaching
I'm only
thing,
joking.
is
It's a bit like Boyd coming out of Rangers. He's got too much to say. It's never
Aye.
going to happen. But they're both just. But oh God, can you imagine how Sky Sports is going to be tomorrow?
Oh, God
I
knows,
know it's
it's
Hibs
going to be
Rangers, but it's just going to be like argument central.
aye, oh, definitely, aye. Yeah,
uh, but
we'll watch it with
um,
watch this space, as I
well,
say.
you'll be at the game, but you'll be at the game, so enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
See how it goes.
Aye.
But hopefully, there's no more emergency pods this week.
I know.
Let's
Keep it to
try and
Friday.
keep it to Friday, but you never know. Maybe Derek McInnes will just resign because he can't be asked working with analytics.
Doubt it. Aye.
No, no. But nah, cool. I'll speak to you on Friday, and aye, Scottish football matters,
Aye. That's
right?
what a
I'll see
carry
you
on.
later.
Right. Bye bye.
Right. Bye bye.